Peace and light, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to turn on those notifications so you know when I go live or when I upload. I want to wish you all a happy Tuesday, y'all. It's Tuesday. We are still in the new year. I tell y'all, when I tell y'all I got so much energy, so much peace about this new year, this is the year where things are going to go to the next level. Y'all, today's video is going to be about our real headlines. As you know, I am the real CT. This is CT Live. And you know I'm only going to bring you real moments, real life, real headlines, real CT, y'all. Today I'm coming to y'all. I want to get into Mary Cosby now. This is a show that I watch all the time with my mama now. Y'all, I love me some Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And y'all know Mary is my favorite. Like, I like Mary. I don't know, well, I know a lot of people kind of like Mary, but I really like Mary. I don't know about y'all. And so when I heard about this TLC documentary, I said, oh, I gotta check this out, because many of you may know, especially if you watch the show for several seasons now, they have been saying Mary Cosby is a cult leader. But see, this is my thing about that, y'all. They always try to say religious organizations are cult leaders. Now, I'm not saying that some of them aren't, because some of them, if you think about it, some of them kind of are. But I feel like when people just don't understand a culture or a way of worshiping, then they automatically jump to a cult leader. So I want to review episode 1, y'all, and I'm going to watch the rest of it, but this is going to be my review for episode 1. So, the episode starts, right? And you could clearly see it starts with the members that used to go to Mary Cosby's church. And they said that she's running this cult. One thing that stood out to me, you guys, is that they said that Mary, did y'all know Mary was the wealthiest housewife on Salt Lake City before it even begun? Okay, so we know, it goes through the whole, she married her step granddaddy. Now, I really feel like that was kind of grooming. That just never sat right with me. He was 20 years her senior when she was 22. Think about that, y'all. That's kind of like creepy. Even though it's not her blood biological granddaddy, it's still her step granddaddy. It's like you look to this man as your step granddaddy and you married him. And just because the mama, they called it her grandma mama, just because mama said you had to do it, you didn't have to do that. But I digress. So it talked about how, the members sat down and they were saying how she always had a need for money, need for control, using manipulation tactics. And, how Mary and her husband would say, either you give us this money or they, deem your soul salvation to hell. Now, I don't like that. That's just not. Don't be trying to manipulate me. Yes, I said manipulate. Don't be trying to manipulate me, because I don't care who you are. I'm not giving you all my money, okay? If we want to go with the word say your 10%, and it even say your free will offering, but we always follow the 10%. My thing is this: church is a business, so you have to pay your tithes or pay your offering if you want to keep worshiping, if you want to keep coming to a building. But church is within you, if you want to get technical, but I'm not gonna go there. So back to the review and watching the episode, we see them talking to the members and how situations transpire in the church that leads to members leaving. And one thing that I really was like dumbfounded about is how old members and members that were still there said that Mary would forbid them and tell them they can't talk to other members. How you gonna tell me who I can't talk to, even if that person left the church or left your church? That's not cool. Now, I want to touch on the Michael. It was this character in the story plot, which I mean is a real person, but his name was Michael, and he was a former member. And one thing that stuck out to me is he was going down memory lane, and he talked about how Mary Cosby used to be Mary Jefferson. And so they show Mary in the choir singing, and I was like, wow. Now this is legacy. Even though, they're talking about, this whole cult and all, this is legacy. To grow up in a church and still have that church to today, that's mind blowing. And so, one thing that they said was, as a kid, Mary is a bully. She was a bully. She is a bully. And when you think back and look at some of the things on the show and how she talks to Heather and how she talks to, Whitney, calling her little girl. You can't talk to me, little girl, even though that does crack me up, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. It does come across a lot of times like a bully, and it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. They said that she was always quirky. She was funny. She was kind of weird, kind of all the things that we see and we love about her on Salt Lake City now. And they said that she was worth around about $5 million before she ever even got on the show. So this is my thing. They said a lot of the members are saying they gave her 5,000, 10,000. One guy even mortgaged his house $300,000. That may be so. I believe that. I believe that the people were giving her money. But this is my thing. She had like 5 different houses around the world. All these designer clothes, shoes, we see all of this stuff. I just don't see where she's getting that money and it's adding up to her lifestyle. I just don't think the money they're giving her is, averaging her lifestyle. She's got to be getting money elsewhere. She's got to be. It's just that church money would not be enough. That's my opinion. I said it. That's my opinion. Yeah, they may have gave her 5,000, 3,000, 3,000 or 300,000 mortgaging houses and stuff. Ultimately, that's your fault. That's like if I tell you, you're going to give me your car and you're going to give it to me now. You're going to look at me like you crazy. You're going to say, I don't know you. I don't got to give you nothing. And that's my thing. You don't have to give your religious leader or the person, you go to for spiritual counseling or guidance what they say you have to give them. You don't. So for them to constantly say it was a cult. Now, they said she even said close the doors and lock the doors. And they were saying how several meetings were starting to take place, and every week almost it turned into money this, money that, money this, money that. Well, again, if you don't like something, if you don't want to be a part of something, then you walk away from it. And I know a lot of them were saying that the people in her church looked up to her as God. I don't really know about that. I don't think Mary looks as herself as a God. But that's what the members were saying. A lot of the members that had left her church. Now that one I'm not sure about. But what I can tell people who are out there, if you are going to a church and you feel like you're just constantly giving all your money, that might not be the church for you. Okay. Yes, church is a business. So you have to, again, I say, you got to give something. If you want the lights to stay on at the church can't run for free. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give something. But, I understand you don't want to be hassled and give all of your earnings to a church. So that's not cool. Now, back to my notes here, y'all. Another thing that I want to touch on is it says here, give me a second. Now, I want to get into the audio recording. Now, I did not like that. I didn't like it. It bothered my spirit, it bothered my mind, and it just bothered me as I, watched Mary Cosby on TV, And I know they played the clip and they showed where she said it was taken out of context, but you just don't say that to people, especially like in a religious organization, damning people to hell. Now, I mean, if you're teaching out of the word or something, the Bible or however your religion is set up, that's different. But again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And she told the people that they were poor.
And if you ain't poor, you stingy, because you still poor. God says you poor. I don't know poor people around me.
Did y'all see that? She told them they were poor. And whining about she only got 14 birthday cards. Come on. Mary, do better. That was not cool. I still like Mary. I ain't even gonna hold you. I still like her. She's funny and quirky and all that stuff. I still like her, but some of that stuff, I was like, I definitely wholeheartedly believe. Now, her being an actual cult leader, even though they're saying a cult leader uses money, power, and sex to manipulate people, to make people think they're God. So, is Mary Cosby a cult leader? What do y'all think? Drop in my comment section if you think Mary Cosby is really a cult leader. Drop in my comment section if you think she's just a religious leader who's money hungry, but deep down, really is a good person. And maybe things are just taken out of context. So I'm torn with this, okay, because it's the way you do it when it comes to tithes in the church, y'all, in church business. It's just the way you do things. I'm torn about it. And then we even go on to see how Mary was allegedly having an affair.
I'm only telling you because I'm fearing for my life. He wanted his story out. According to Cameron, Mary went to Cameron's house, sit by each other. Mary grabs Cameron's hand, starts rubbing her. To Cameron, he put his hand in her vagina, and then we had sex.
Stop the motherfucking press. They had sex, allegedly. Not Mary got that little kitty that little kitty cat rubbed on. And she's supposed to be the pastor, y'all. Now, guys, I do believe this. It was just too evident. It was just too much pictures and recordings. Now, the guy that she was alleged to be with and allegedly having an affair with, he passed away. God rest his soul. He passed away. But y'all, why would he recorded calls and conversations where he told his friends, how he thought Mary was God, and he thought, being with her and doing this was what God wanted him to do, and thought he was doing the right thing. He was manipulated. And when you bring in lust in a sexual thing, that is a manipulation. You will be manipulated and thinking this is something you're supposed to do when it's not. You know? Now that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I believe Mary didn't. I believe she was going with that man. And he said that, they were flying off. They showed us pictures, y'all. Now, what man is going to be with a woman and then you see his hand on the nip of her ass? They were going together. They were going together, y'all. And as the pastor, that's not right, because you are supposed to be the person that people can look up to. People are striving to be better and do better and not be, have so much worldly exploitation. Right? So I'm not saying that you're not going to fall, because nobody's perfect. But especially if you're the pastor, you should be, really striving to live a holy and acceptable life. And I'm just saying, based on what I saw, this is my opinion. This is not fact. This is not, it's my opinion. Let me put it like that. It's my opinion. And these are my thoughts, my views of what we allegedly seen. And allegedly, TLC is saying that Mary was going with this man. God rest his soul. This man, mind you, guys, he was confessing his sins. He was confessing. This is a confession. No person in their right mind who has got a terminal illness and possibly getting ready to leave this earth, and you want God, if that's your belief, you want God to be pleased with you, and deep down he felt like God wasn't pleased. He's confessing to his friends on how he thought he was, doing the right thing, but he knew he was manipulated. That was a confession. And that is why, it seems as if Mary during that season was so, what's the word I'm thinking of? She was so defensive about, the rumor of her going with this man. And then if y'all notice, after season 2, I believe it was season 2, where they questioned her about, was she in a cult? And then when the audio was leaked, they asked her about it, and she said it was taken out of context. Notice after season 2 and that guy died, Mary took a break from the show. She took a break from the show. So I definitely 100% believe, allegedly, Mary was sleeping with this guy. I just believe it. I'm sorry. Now, if you show me some other evidence and, she come out with something different, alleged, then I might change my mind. But today, I'm saying deep down, I feel like she was going with the guy. They said she was using spiritual abuse, financial abuse, and keeping people hostages, within her religious organization. Now, I don't feel like that's true. I just don't feel like it's true. But what I do believe is they have a way of doing things, and everybody is not going to understand it. And just because we don't understand something, it doesn't mean it's a cult. Just because you don't understand someone doesn't mean it's a cult. And so that leads me to say, in today's society, people judge. And it's okay. You can have an opinion about something. And you can have an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But you don't have to constantly push a narrative on a person or on a thing. So I'm going to end this video there. If you haven't, please go and check out episode 1 of TLC's cult leader, Mary Cosby. I do plan to review episode 2 and episode 3. Again, guys, don't judge me too hard. I am trying to get my audio and stuff together, my studio together. I'm still trying to get my way of conducting my style, how I want to talk to you, everything I want to say. My thoughts are everywhere. I'm still getting everything together with my channel. So bear with me, y'all. I mean, if this is the first video that you are seeing of me, please subscribe to my channel. Go and watch some of my old videos, from when I was almost in high school. But watch my new ones as well. I just started posting 2026 again. And you know what? I'll see you all in the next video. Remember, I'm the real CT. This is CT Live, and I'm only bringing you real moments, real life, real headlines, real CT. Y'all be blessed.